Hey, what's up, guys? Got a request to go over my Nord rack, which is the Nord Rack 3. This is, mainly for people that are curious. They see one on eBay and they want to buy one, or they see one and they want to steal it. This is basically going to be my overview of what it can do. It's quite advanced for its day. This is a subtractive and FM synth. I don't know a whole lot about the FM part, but I know, enough. So you start it up and you get like this default patch. Right, you get that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold shift, and you can't see it, but it says sound init. So you can sound init, which is a basic sound init that you'd find in like any sort of subtractive synthesis. Or you can go to FM init and you can read that there, which is pretty cool. So you have two starting points. So it's an initial subtractive synthesis patch and an initial FM patch. So we're going to be focusing more on, we'll be going over both. We're going to be focusing on, like the makeup and all that fun stuff. So yeah, you have your oscillator section, which is right here in the middle. You have your saw, your square, which can be, changed to pulse with your shape amount. You can also modulate that, but that's in our modulation section. You get triangle, you got sine, you got noise, that Swedish noise, and then you have your FM, which is pretty fun. So you have that on kind of both sides, and your oscillator mixes right here. These encoders are endless, right? So you can, switch around, and, you won't have to initialize it and then find the point in which it is its initial, just like the Behringer MIDI controllers, the rotary ones, which is quite cool, and that is very exciting. We have two saws. We have our coarse, and the pitch or carrier modulator for the FM part is here. So we'll focus on the pitch. It's a little bit early, but whatever. So we have this. And that is fine by me. We have our filter section here. So we have a low pass, 24, 12, and 6. 6 is particularly nice. 24 I also like. It steps, but it adds to the sound. For those wondering, deadmau5's recent tour, his tour before the Meowington Hacks tour, he brought this with him on tour. Not this unit, but one that, in a unit like this, right? We have a high pass, and then our band pass or band reject. Our band pass, not band reject. This is band reject. You can modulate this for a phaser effect, because the Nord Rack does not come with onboard effects, but it makes up for in its awesome power of doom. And our resonance. Classic, I think that emulates some sort of classic filter. This is all the Nord, for those wondering. See, it steps. Steps, if you can hear that. Right. All right. And then we have my favorite, the Distortion Low-Pass. So this is a saturation low-pass. Then you lose your option. It's only 12 decibels, but it's still pretty cool. A very rich sound. good. I want to go over the modulation section because it really is on roids. So we have our amplifier envelope, which is, you know, our ADSR. Think of it like that. Right? Our attack, sustain, release, and, you know, all that fun stuff that you'd find. Our volume output for each part. Mind you, this is 4 parts, A, B, C, and D. So MIDI channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it all is output through, yeah, the back. You see right here, it's 2, so you'd assume it's stereo, but it's actually 4 mono. And you route them, you route whatever you want, each part, through whatever you want. I have all 4 routed through output, which one is that? Output A and B. So it's all stereo for the unison. You don't get unison with, you know, a mono output. And that was for, say, if you wanted to have, you know, A and B stereo, and then C and D as its own output. So you'd have like your leady lead, and then you'd have like a bass and whatever on C and D. But yeah, it's 4 parts. But anyway, we're gonna go back to our filter envelope. So you want to turn your velocity up so we can hear it, and I want to have it like that. Right, and this is adjusting our filter, which is very nice. We can adjust the decay. We can do funny stuff like this. Right? Very, very, very pH fat. Yeah. Alright, and that's just with the filter modulation. We have another kind of modulation section. We have 2 LFOs. We have basically 2.5. So this is another envelope. It simply has attack and decay. So, you know, we can have that set to, yeah, we'll have it set to our filters. I have another point I need to get to these filters after, but I'm just going to set the amount. And what does it sound like? You see that light? It's triggering. So you can have basically another envelope, a very simple envelope, apart from these guys. So we'll go pitch. Reversed. Alright, super fun. Right, that Swedish modulation. We also have, you know, 2 LFOs, and they're very interesting in how they work. So I will go filter, and this is how you kind of, you know, route things. So you have a readout here, the rate, and it's, you know, it talks to you up here. We move into the 6 Hz range up until the basically audible range, and you can go well beyond into some crazy modulation. Check this out. You can get like a redux sound. It's fucking amazing. So yeah, 523 hertz. We can also clock this. So you press shift and then you just move this guy. So then it clocks and it'll kind of snap to, you know, quarter, whatever. If you want it to kind of sync up to whatever, but you know, I don't want to do that. So you can even go oscillator pitch. Oh shit, wrong button. You can even adjust the shape. And then we're in the FM range, which is very crazy. So, yeah, let's see. I'll show you what else we can do. So we have a square wave here, and I want to modulate the shape, so the pulse width of this. So I will go shape, shape, oscillator 1, right? So it's very slow, 34 seconds. So I want to go a little bit faster. And I want this to be a triangle. So you get some very weird and 80s. There's quite a bit of 80s sounds on here. So another thing, so say if you want this to act as an envelope, well, you can. You hold shift and you select that, and now this acts as an envelope. So every time you press a key, it'll trigger once, and the envelope is just time. So the LFO will trigger once and then stay into its, like, you know, the state in which it stays. I'll give you a better example. And then it'll stay there. Sorry for the irritation. So, I wanted to show you something else. This is really cool. So I'm just going to make a basic kind of patch, both kind of triangle. No, wait. I'm going to set it to 0. I'm going to just fine tune slightly. So we have two saws. They're kind of detuned from each other. Well, they are detuned from each other. I'm going to turn on the unison, that Swedish unison. Turn that on. Stack it. Playing with my left hand, it sucked. But yeah, that takes no additional voices. It's done by some weird Swedish magic. Right, I want to show you our other filters. These are very unique filters. We have 6, and they're kind of weird comb filters. They make the sound like bigger. No? Come on. What'd I do? Yeah, they're very odd. So right there, so it's like 2 kind of filters going on. You get some really weird effects simply by using these filters. I don't understand them because I haven't bothered to read the manual yet, but I've gotten some really weird results. And of course you can modulate that, so we will. So modulate filter 2, just filter 2. We can have 2 separate modulations for kind of each filter here. So very, very much like super evolving sounds, and yeah, basically that's our cool modulation. And so yeah, and this is just one part. We can have you know, multiple parts. So we could go to on Ableton here. I have all parts mapped out. It's through the same one MIDI cable, but using different channels. So we're on, I guess, you know, Blade Runner or whatever. So I'm gonna init this. So we have that patch kind of below it in part A, but in this part we're going to, I want something that kind of just like flutters above it. You know, just rudimentary sound design this early after waking up. So I want a pitch of the oscillators to just kind of lightly flutter. And of course, unison, because it takes no DSP. Well, it doesn't take up any voices. So I will, I guess band pass then? No, I'll high pass. What else can I do? Yeah, I'll give it a bit of an attack and release. So I'm going to set up an Ableton so it'll play both those parts at the same time. So with shift and shift. So now. So now we have just 2 parts. So if we're going to go crazy, we'll have part C. And I'm gonna attempt an FM patch, and I want this to be below, like below. And so I'll just do that. So I understand it basically, but you know, yeah. One second, cat. So the shape of both, maybe? I want this to be distorted. Okay, well then let's just try that and see what that sounds like. Okay, well that sounds pretty bad, but we're learning. I really suck at FM. FM, yeah, you gotta wrestle with it, and I don't know it that well, but it's going through the patches on this. You come across some very interesting stuff. A lot of DX7 80s era. Try to find one. Right. Okay. Well, you know, way better than anything I can come up with on the spot here. But yeah, supports aftertouch, which is very cool for things that support aftertouch. So what I'll do is I'll kind of just show you what's going on here. You have that right here. I'm going to hold aftertouch and then just bring this down, right? So I can press the key, and how hard I press the key afterwards, I'll get more of an expression on that filter. So I'm pressing the key like this, and I'm just pressing it harder, and I'm not actually letting go. I'm just giving it velocity. Yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of things on here have, you know, keyboard tracking and all that fun stuff. Different kind of FM modes, like what's modulating what and how crazy it modulates. So we've added some distortion on that. Maybe we might get a cool result. Which brings me to my voicing mode. We have mono and legato and glide, which is pretty cool, and an arpeggiator. It isn't running because I have that set. You see, FM synthesis is a weird magic trick for those that understand it. I get a grasp, you can get some cool sounds out of it, but yeah, perfectly capable. Hope you enjoyed the video. Just hope you enjoyed it. And have a good one.